Alright guys, welcome to Z's Comics Reviews. We actually only have around 3 reviews ready for you today just because we are getting ready for San Diego Comic-Con announcements. We're only going to do one video this week. This weekend, July...
Well, technically, depending if you count Sunday as the beginning of a new week.
I mean...
We're shooting to do a second one on Sunday, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that's the plan anyway.
Yes.
Like, we're going to do some shorts talking about, oh man, this got announced kind of thing. Like tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and on Sunday we'll do the big one where we compile pretty much everything into one video.
If Alex Ross replies to my second comment that he already liked and replied to, I'm gonna lose it even more. Be so excited.
I mean, dude, I got a comment like and like reply from Felicia Day one time, and I was over the moon for like an entire month. Okay, freaking love Felicia. All right, yeah, she acknowledged me. Yes. All right. Anyway, so we're just gonna do some reviews for this week's Berserker, this week's Flash Gordon, and Hello Darkness, and then we're gonna show you some of the other things that came out. We'll talk about the synopsis of them and whether or not the artwork is good. And we're gonna start off with Berserker. Keanu Reeves. I forgot the name of it. Berserker, Face Full of Bullets. All right.
There are a lot of face full of bullets.
Serious? Yes. All right, nice. So if you don't know, Berserker is a comic series, and a bunch of the spin-offs follow the same guy. He is an immortal, dawn of time, and Keanu Reeves actually got together with a bunch of comic creators and made this comic book. This is this week's one-shot release, I believe, called Face Full of Bullets. Regale us, Thunder. Regale us with what happened with Keanu Reeves.
So, whoa! Oh, magnetic, I forgot. Yeah. Alright, well, yes. I like it. Like, I've read the first issue of the actual Berserker run. That was the only one I was able to get. Because, like, after that, it just, like, took off. It got very popular.
Yeah.
So, this one, very nice. I like it. It's a very simple story. Like, takes place back in the 1800s. It's like 1880s or something like that, if I remember correctly. And starts off, most of it's in Missouri, and starts off with him. He was like OB sometimes, as they refer to him. They don't name him in this one, but like from the other comics, you know, he's like referred to as B sometimes, B. And so it starts off, he's like strung up, someone hung him or whatever. You can never really find out what happened there, and kid helps him down, and then just, you know, goes on his way. Like, he goes on his merry way. The story revolves around this woman and her husband. The woman's father is some sort of like big head honcho or whatever that's like very religious, and the woman, you know, kind of like, she was getting married, but she wanted to be a little like unreligious at times and kind of like handle things before they officially tied the knot. So the father got a little bit like, kind of went Kill Bill on the whole thing and like sent a bunch of dudes to 86 everybody, even the preacher that was doing the wedding, like, dang. And so like this whole thing takes place between that, like, that's the story. The bride is actually narrating this story, saying like about her interaction with this stranger who she refers to him as like the Storm, because it's one of those things where she's like, oh, in my years of like trying to figure out who this guy was, because he really didn't say anything while I was with him. Like, I learned a bunch of like, what they call like folklore tales or whatever from like native tribesmen and like British people and all that. And even though they had different names, she was like, it basically comes down to, they called him like the Living Storm, something like that. So that's all he was. He just comes in and just like does stuff.
Very Doctor Who.
Yes.
Also, kind of reminds me of Gunslinger.
Yes,
the Stephen King's
like,
Dark Tower #1.
And that's basically how he looks too. He's totally like in a Roland outfit. Like, he got the freaking like trench coat, hat, and all that, and like man of very few words too.
Nice.
And they definitely went more into making him look like Keanu than in any of the others. It's like in the past ones, you could see like, okay, yes,
he's
you can
kind
see
of
it.
inspired by him.
Yes,
not
but like
really,
this one, it's like straight up. You're looking at him and you're like,
that's straight up Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, it's like straight up Keanu Reeves. But yes, it's a very good story. It's a one shot, you know, so it's all contained. It happened, and it's very nice. I like it. Like, there's nothing crazy going on. It is just like point A, point B, beginning, middle, end, action out the wazoo, and it's a pretty good message too overall. Like, there's a message about like seeking, like, basically the revenge tale. That like should you or should you not go for it? A little message too. It's a nice, very nice story. I liked it. And then also kind of tying into related to Berserker, even though it's not a comic book, Keanu Reeves did come out this week. It was released on the 23rd with an official novel in the same universe about Berserker called The Book of Elsewhere. It's a straight up book, straight up novel, and I've read like the first 10 pages of it so far, and I like it.
All right,
So, yeah.
10 pages and he's hooked. Yes. All right. So Berserker, what do you give it?
I'm gonna give it a solid 5. Solid
Wow.
5 out of 5 here.
Okay.
Because it is like
For a one shot?
for a one
All
shot,
right.
solid 5 out of 5. Good
All
story,
right.
the art, tremendous.
So, moving on. You read this one too.
Yes.
So, Flash. Flash Gordon #1 on sale this week.
Yes.
Tell us about it, man. Because just from a few page flips, artwork looks amazing.
It is good art,
Right?
you know.
Yeah.
It is good art for the man that will save every woman, every man, every child with a mighty flash. It's great. It's great. So
I'm gonna learn the words of this song for when we review #2.
Exactly.
If it's good enough.
It is pretty good. Like, I don't really know anything about Flash Gordon besides from the fact of like I watched the movie,
Yeah.
but I've never read a single comic or
And
anything
the Queen
like that.
song, okay?
And the Queen song,
And the
yes.
Queen song.
You know, like never read a single comic. It is a good. I think this is a good starting off point. It's not like as far as I can tell, it's not a reboot because certain characters are dead. Like they.
Okay, so.
Like they straight up
it's-
talk about how like, oh yes, Flash Gordon has existed. Basically everything that Flash Gordon was known for, like fighting Ming and all that, has happened. And this is just like continuing the story, but also they did a good job at like, you know, making a good start off.
Catching the
Yeah.
viewer up, or the reader up. I
Yes,
guess.
especially since at the end too, there's one page of like his origin story from the OG comics.
Okay, so it does
like,
give you a little, so it does give you more than just context clues.
Yes, gives
to,
you
to
more than
catch you
just
up.
that.
Okay.
It's like one whole page letting you know, oh, he was an explorer, crash landed, and like he was an athlete, you know, football player. Like they were saying in Ted, he was like an NFL quarterback is called upon to save the world. That's the
Okay.
American dream.
Yeah,
So-
it is.
So yeah, like it does a good job. It is completely like 80s action movie.
Yeah.
Like he's got one-liners and everything too. Like he does the whole in one part he's got like they're going up an elevator shaft and he shoots the cable and says like, oh, express elevator to hell going down. Like it is straight up 80s vibe. Like
I love it, and now I need to read it.
yeah,
I,
like
I love it. Now I need to
it's
read
a good
it.
thing. Like they got dinosaur like lizard things that he's going against. It is really nice. And also I'd like to say, I know our audio on like the last week's video kind of cut out, but just to catch you all up to speed, I'm not the biggest fan of previews at the end of comics, especially because like it just seems like it cuts into the story that I'm reading
Is
already.
that what got left
But-
off? Your
Yes,
entire rant
my
about how
entire
you
rant.
hated the last 5 pages of Nightwing?
Especially because it was previews for a comic that came out that week.
I'm
Like-
kind of I kind of understand that, especially since it
Yeah.
did come out that week.
So it's like if I didn't
But-
pick it up already, I'm not gonna go back and like I'm not gonna read it at home
Like-
and then end up
like
going
they,
back.
They,
and buying it.
they've made your crap
Yeah.
list.
But like this one is a good way of doing a preview
Oh, yeah?
because like
What-
there
what
is a
did they
preview for it's called Defenders of the Universe, I believe.
Oh yes, I have some of those on order,
It's
and
gonna
it's
have,
like
like,
the
the
Phantom
and all that in
and
it.
like the
Mhm.
so okay.
And it
So-
also kind of looks like that story might be the in between of like this story and like the OG. It
Okay.
seems like it's gonna be like a prequelish kind of story, just because
So-
of like stuff that happens in it. But like it's nice because like it's only
Did
like
they see
two
the
or
movie?
it's only like 2 or 3 pages of a preview for that Defenders of the Universe.
Oh, snap.
But it does a really good job at like getting you hooked. Plus, it like gets a pass for me too because it's like it relates to the story that I'm already reading. So you know, if you're somebody that doesn't really go online to get like to look at the solicitations or whatever.
Yeah.
You just go into the store to like see a comic and you're like, ooh, it does a good job at being like, hey, here's another comic that you might not know about that's gonna kind of tie in to the story you're already reading.
So
Here it
fun
goes.
fact, the Magician from the Defenders of the Universe is actually technically the first superhero. Like in all of comic creation, that is technically the first superhero. Okay, like everybody thinks it's Superman, and Superman is the very first
He's
one with
just like the first
superpowers.
modern age superhero.
Yeah, he's the first
something
modern
like
age
that.
superhero. But the I believe his name was Mandarin, but he was technically the first superhero. More in the vein of like a Batman type of superhero, where he relied on gadgets and he did prestidigitation, illusions, and stuff like that. But he used those to stop the bad guys. And that guy was actually, technically speaking, the first superhero in modern day American comics. So them bringing him back is like super cool to me. It's like almost nobody remembers this guy.
I just recognized Phantom.
Yeah.
And I was already like,
all
hey!
right, my boy Billy Zane.
I was all like, no smoking in the skull cave, please.
Oh, dude, I need to watch that movie again. It was
The first time I ever watched that movie was when we had a beach trip and I got stung by a jellyfish. I had to go inside and the movie was on. That's the first time that I ever watched it. And I loved it. But yes, like in the end, Flash Gordon, good comic. I'm saying a good solid 4 out of 5.
Wow, okay.
It starts off nice. It's a good, if you like, the corny 80s action stuff. That's what it is. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Dude, I hope they have corny 80s action in the Terminator series coming out. Did I tell you about that? There's going to be a Terminator series coming out, and it looks like Alex Ross is providing one of the variant covers. Fun fact, Alex Ross is like one of his very first professionally done comic jobs was for the Terminator series back in the day. The first Terminator comic series. So, like, I'm really hoping that it's really him, because oh man, I'm super excited about it. I'm gonna buy so many of them. All right, now Hello Darkness. Now this is for our Hello Darkness. We had
Disturbed's version of that song is actually freaking amazing.
Really good.
I like it better than the original.
I think
But
I do
anyway.
too. All right, we're getting off topic. So, Hello Darkness, number 1. This is actually a horror anthology. Okay, so it's made. It's got like 5 stories in this thing. It's like really cool. Each one different artwork, different writer. Garth Ennis provides the last story in here, and it's not really straight up horror. It's more of the the psychological thriller horror kind of thing. And we have James Tynion providing part 1 of the Something is Killing the Children story. I believe the chapter is called a Monster Hunter Walks into a Bar. So James Tynion provided Something is Killing the Children storyline in here. The other writers, I'm not entirely sure about their names, but I gotta say, these are freaking creepy. I'm glad I read these in the daytime, because my imagination just goes off into the left, and there is some really truly creepy stuff in here, and the artwork helps tell the story in very imaginative, very creative ways. And oh my gosh, the violence and the implications of the endings for some of these things are just friggin', like, to me they're straight up terrifying. You can call me a wimp all you want, I don't care. If I'm reading this at home in the dark, because I live way the hell out in the boonies, I'm scared. Okay, all right. Especially because I got 2 kids, and one of them is about kids unaliving the parents. Why are they unaliving the parents? I read the thing, and I'm still not entirely sure what's going on. It kind of sounded like 28 Days Later type stuff. I'm definitely locking my door now whenever my kids are home.
Or like that one Christopher Reeve movie where the kids were like psychic aliens or whatever.
I don't know.
It's kind of interesting. I think it was a Stephen King book, and it was like one of his last.
No, that was.
It was like one of his last movies that Christopher Reeve ever did before his accident, and it was like it's pretty good.
Huh.
Pretty good.
We're gonna have to find out that name.
I forgot it.
All right. So, very new. This is from an independent publisher. The Addiction. All right. So, basic premise. The main character, she is an addiction specialist. She's a doctor, and she runs afoul of a local cartel, and they unalive her. Well, that doesn't take it. It takes about as well as the whole Poison Ivy thing did with Pamela Isley, and now she's back, and with just a single touch, she can alter your chemical. Like she can just basically contact high you.
With your biology.
Pretty much, it'll mess with your chemical makeup, and like she touches you, you're high. If she touches you, you OD or something like that, and it's like now the cartel is after her again because hey man, we got to figure out how does this happen. We got to figure out how to do it. We got to make money off of this, and she's just trying to figure stuff out, trying to stay alive, and trying to not kill anybody by accidentally touching them. So super interesting premise.
Like a drug version of Rogue.
Yeah. It's like Rogue and Poison Ivy, like
mixed together.
yeah,
It's dangerous.
which is weird because like one of them can't touch the other. Actually, no, like Rogue's power set is very confusing these days. She can touch people, she can't touch people. I don't know what's going on.
No.
All right. So moving on, Absolute Power Origins.
Origins.
Have you ever wondered why Amanda Waller just absolutely hates superheroes? Well, find out in this one. Absolute Power Origins #1. Artwork inside is really good, and they kind of draw a weird parallel to Batman's origin with Amanda Waller's origin. So that one's kind of it's interesting how they play with that. I did skim that one a little.
Okay, skimmed it.
So yeah,
I got program on it.
I did. Yeah, I did. Actually, no. Yeah. This is okay. So definitely pick that up just because, dude. If you want to learn more about Amanda Waller, check it out. Absolute Power Origins #1.
Plus, the whole Absolute Power line so far has been nice. Like I've been reading the Absolute Power Task Force 7s, and they're nice. Especially this one.
Did you read #2?
Yes, I read #2. Very nice. This one was dealing with Aquaman. His Amazo guy was there dubbing Deep, the Deep Impact or something like that. I can't really remember.
All I can think of is
the boys.
Yeah,
yes.
all I can think of is the Deep.
But yeah, he's taking Aquaman's powers. He's dealing with the Legion of Doom. No, not the Legion of Doom.
Black Manta?
No, Doom Patrol. He's dealing with Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol's in this. This one is very like almost espionage. Like Waller sent him to like deal with Atlantis and all that. It's very nice story. Like I'm pretty sure another comic character in this one bites the dust, sleeps with the fishes forever, so to speak. Now.
I mean, like if they're dealing with Aquaman, they always sleep with fishes.
No, this was forever, sleeping with the fish, gone belly up.
Perma-sleep.
The perma-sleep.
Oh, the perma-sleep. All right.
Belly up.
Or
in this way, maybe he's sleeping with the humans now.
Yeah, we're sleeping with birds. We know that.
So,
We're sleeping with birds.
This whole line of Absolute Power has been tremendous.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So, okay, now this one, the premise just sounds really cool. This is basically Ocean's 11 meets Ghost Rider.
I love a good heist.
Okay, yeah, so the main characters, they sold their soul to Satan, right? They sold their soul to hell, and they feel that they did not get their money's worth.
You're trying to steal their souls back?
Yes. All right. And that's the entire point of the series, right? That's not a spoiler or anything. So the two of them, the two main characters, they're together. I think it's a husband and wife, and they feel that they just got railroaded, right? They're like, you know what? We got we got nothing compared to what he got. All right. So let's make this fair. Well, they wind up contacting other people that feel the same way, that sold their souls as well.
They're getting basically the Dirty Dozen.
They are basically getting Dirty Dozen, Ocean's 11 type stuff.
How many of them are there so
an
far?
infernal.
How many of them are there so far in this group?
Is
it like 11 or 12?
I think there's supposed to be like 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
All right, but hey man, we had on Ocean's 8.
Yeah, we had on Ocean's 8. It wasn't that bad of a movie.
I haven't watched yet.
It was okay.
I hear good things.
They did what they could.
I just haven't got. Dude, my watch list is so long. But anyway, The Big Burn. All right, The Big Burn from Distillery Studios. Distillery Studios. Hey, the premise just sounds like wicked cool.
Good heist, and this is a nice twist on
yeah. So they get together and they decide, you know what, we are going to break into Satan's vault, Hell's vault, and we are going to take what's ours. And yeah, man, it sounds really good. The artwork inside is really good as well. Just some highlights from it. Just letting you know about it, and check it out at your local comic shop. They're on sale this week, and I think that about does it, because this week there's been almost no extra news.
Pretty sure they were saving it for Comic-Con, and it just started, which is kind of why.
Today, Thursday the 25th, is previews night for San Diego Comic-Con. So over the next few days, hopefully we'll have news to let you guys know what's going on. You don't have to hunt for any info that you want. It'll be right here in one video on Sunday. All right. So thanks for watching, and we'll get back to you this weekend with some really cool stuff going on. All right. Later.
Hope so.